Friends, welcome back to Stellar Studies, and I am Leela, and today we are going to discuss about the law of variable proportions. So today we are going to start a new topic, the law of variable proportions in economics. So what is this law of variable proportions? So introduction. So in the production, mainly the production contains productions or production. It is the combination of variable factors of production. So the production is the combination of variable factors of production. It means there are some fixed factors and there are some variable factors. The factors are variable while some other factors are not variable in the production. So the variable factors and non-variable factors, the later, first the former, not F-A-R-M-O-R, it's F-O-R-M-O-R, former means, the former means variable factors. What are the variable factors? For example, labor are variable factors, raw materials are also examples of variable factors. These are the examples of variable factors. This is a former, and the next one is later, not later, it's later. What is this later means? Later means fixed factors. So later means fixed factors. It contains some examples such as, what are fixed factors? That is land, capital, etc. are examples of fixed factors. So this is the former and this is the latter. And so when these former and latter, that is the variable factors and fixed factors, are combined together, there is a proportion in between the variable factors and fixed factors undergoes changes when we combine those two factors. This situation is called as the law of variable proportions. So here, if we have to increase the total output, we have to increase the former, means variable factors, not this latter, fixed factors. Because if we increase the variable factors, then the production can be increased. So by increasing the variable factors, the production can be increased. It means if we increase the labor, we can increase the production. Keep in mind that until this topic is completed, we are going to discuss about the production in short run, not very short run or long run, short period or short run period. So we are discussing about the production under short run. So this is the law of variable proportion introduction. So this is the statement of the law. So actually the law of variable proportions was has been discovered by two scientists, namely David Ricardo and Alfred Marshall. So these are the two scientists who have discovered the law of variable proportions in the 19th century. In which century? 19th century. So this is about the introduction and statement of the law. So let's discuss about some more interesting. So if the total output is increased in the short run by the combination of variable factors, the output first increases at an increasing rate, and after that it will increase in a diminishing rate, and finally it will decrease. First the production will be increased at an increasing rate, and then at diminishing rate, and finally decreases. Okay, so the first one, the production increases at an increasing rate. Second one, the production increases at a diminishing rate, and the third stage, finally the production decreases. Okay, there are three stages in the law. So friends, let's discuss about the definition of the law of variable proportions. This is very important definition. So what is the definition of the law of variable proportions means? So friends, here we are discussing about the definition of the law. So what is the definition of the law means? An increase in the labor and capital leads to cultivation of the land. An increase in the labor and capital leads to the cultivation of land causes an increase in general less than the appropriate increase in the produce raised. So until it happens to coincide with an improvement in the arts of agriculture. Here means the definition has been related with agriculture, but it is not about agriculture. Also, it is about production. So this is the definition was given by the economist Alfred Marshall. So he has described the production activities of the law of variable proportions slightly in link with agriculture. It means we have to reframe it and we have to understand it. An increase in the labor and capital, that are variable factors. Labor and one of the variable factor and one of the fixed factors. So an increase in labor and capital leads to the cultivation of land. Means here the land, labor and capital are, these three are the components which are in related with each other. So if we will increase one of these factors, it will lead to the increase in of production. So for explanation of the law, let's go into explanation. For example, take a farmer who has 10 acres of land. Okay, the farmer has 10 acres of land and he wants to increase his production by increasing the variable factors, that is labor. So he wants to increase the production by increasing the labor. Then he has the following certain schedule of the variable production factors has been taken by the variable factors and the fixed factors combined together. Let's take a schedule. This is the table showing different types of production. So friends, here we can see the following schedule about the law of variable proportions. Here the units of VF means variable factors, so there is no place, that's why I have written in shortcut. Units of variable factors: total product, average product, marginal product, stages of output. So here we can see units of variable factors 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have to remember this total product, then we will get all these values. So first we have to remember this total product values, so it should not be changed. So first one is 80, next one 20, 36, 48, 55, 60, 60, 56. So this is the total product value. And next one we are going to discuss about the average product, that is 8, 10, 12, 12, 11, 10, 8.6, 7. And marginal product 8, 12, 16, 12, 7, 5, 0, minus 4. And here, now listen carefully. These are the values about the total product, average product and marginal product. So here there are three stages of output, generating output. They are: first one increasing stage, second one diminishing stage, and third one negative returns or negative return stage. So let's discuss about the following table. So this table tells that the total product in stage 1, this is up to the 4th unit of labor. These are the units of variable factors. Here variable factor is labor. We have written that variable factors is labor. In this table, units of variable factor means labor, units of labor. So when the number of labors employed is 1, then total product is 8, average product is 8, marginal product is 8. And when number of labors is employed is 2, then the total product has been doubled. More than doubled. What is the double of 8? That is 16, right? So there are 4 units extra if 2 number of laborers are employed. So it has been doubled. And average product, we know we have to divide the total product by units. And marginal product we will get by subtracting the each addition made to the total product. That's why here we have divided up to the 4th unit of laborer. We have divided the first stage, because so here we can see the up to the 4th unit of laborers, the total product has been goes on increasing. Here the addition made is 12, and here the addition made is 16, and again here addition made is 12. So here the total product is goes on increasing and increasing, and up to the fourth unit it has been increasing at an increasing rate. It means more than the double. It is increasing at a rate which is more than the double. Here also more than double, here also more than triple, here also more than 4 times. What is 4 times 8 is 32, right? But 48 is more than 32. But how much? 18. No, 16 units more than the 4 times of 8. So here we have to conclude that up to the fourth unit, up to the first stage of increasing returns, the total output is increasing at an increasing rate. And from the second stage onwards, here you can see. What this means, from fifth one onwards, what is 48 minus 55? That is 7. And what is 55 by 5? That is 11. And what is 60 minus 55? That is 5. And 60 by 6 is equal to 10. And 60 minus 60 is equal to 0. And this is very important one. This whole 7th one is very important one. This is the conclusion of the second stage. And what is 60 by 7 is equal to 8.6661. So here you can see that the total product has been increasing up to the 7th unit. Up to 4th unit it is increasing at an increasing rate. Here you can see increasing returns rate. But from 5th unit onwards up to 7th unit it is increasing at a diminishing returns rate. So from this stage means up to the 7th unit of labor, it is the end of the second stage. And if the farmer or the producer still wants to employ some more workers, then he will go into negative returns. That is the third stage. It is very important. The total production will decrease. Okay, so this is about the explanation of the table. So here we can see the different stages of the production. So all these stages tell us up to the first stage the production increases at an increasing rate, 8, 20, 36 and 48. From second stage onwards production increases but at a diminishing rate, that is 55, 60, 60. Here you can see 60, 60 there is no change, but up to here it is more than the double, right? It is more than 4 times, so it has been increased more 12 units, but here there is no change, there is no increase. It means if you employ more number of laborers, up to some extent the production will be increased, but after that the total product will decrease. Let's discuss about graph. So friends, here we can see I am going to draw a curve based on the before table. So here I am taking the number of laborers employed, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And here I have taken the total marginal and average products, all the 3 products on this y-axis, and the number of laborers employed on this x-axis. Okay, so it is increasing and it is decreasing. It is increasing, and here I am taking minus 10, and here only I am taking minus 5. Here it is decreasing order. So if you see the first point, if at the point of 1 the total product is, first we will mark all the total product values. At 1 the total product produced is 8, so I am marking a point here, 8. And after the second unit the total product value is after the 8 it is 20. The second one I am marking here the point 20. The third one is 36. So I am marking the 36. And after that one the fourth unit is 48. Okay, 48 of the fourth unit. Here I am marking 48. And after that it is 55 at the fifth unit. Exactly 55. And at the sixth unit it is 60. Seventh unit also 60. And from 8th units it is 56, right? So it is slightly below this. And from here onwards all this the curve will go like this. So let's join all the points. So it is the total product curve, TP curve. It represents the total product produced. And let's plot the points of what that is average product. At the first unit of laborer employed, the average product is 8 units, same point. And the second unit of the average product is 10 units. So here I will mark 10 units slightly above the point. And after the third unit of one more laborer, the total product is 12 units, so slightly above the 10 point. And the fourth one, it is again 12, so same point. And after the fifth unit, it has been decreased, that is 11, so slightly below 12. And the next one, fifth unit of the sixth unit, it is again 10, so it is 10. And the seventh unit, it is 8.6, right, so slightly below it. And eighth unit, it is what, 7, means slightly above 5. So if we join all these points, we will get a curve like this. This is the average product curve. And let's plot the marginal product curve. The first one unit is 8, and the second unit is 12, slightly 12. The third unit is 16, it is more than anything, right? So here slightly 16, again 12. So again 12. And after this, at the fifth unit, it is 7, means slightly here, slightly above this 7. And after the sixth unit, it is 5, slightly a 5. And seventh unit, it is 0. Eighth unit, it is -5. So if we join all these points, again we will get a curve. Okay. This is the marginal product curve. Here you can see. At the fourth unit of laborer, we are getting that these two curves, AP and MP curves, are meeting. So in table also we have discussed that at the fourth unit the average product is 12 and the marginal product is also 12. AP is equal to MP. And this is up to the first stage, stage 1. And in the second stage, that is at the 7.7, is the second stage, that is increasing returns but at diminishing rate. And next one, it is third stage. This is about the diagrammatical representation of the law of variable proportions. So friends, what is the conclusion means? From these three stages of the production, the first stage and the second stage are practicable and rational for any producer or farmer, but the third stage onwards, it is not rational for practice the third stage, because in third stage the returns are going to be decreased. So this is the final conclusion of the law of variable proportions. So friends, if you like this video, please hit the like button, please to subscribe to our channel, and if you want to get notifications, please hit the bell button, and please suggest to your some more friends for this like of interesting videos. And thanks for watching this video.